All right, here we are, Chapter 3, Day 2, solving multi-step inequalities. Remember, you solve an inequality just like you would an equation, except, remember that golden rule, if you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality. So here on number 1, we'd start by getting x alone. You'd have to subtract 2. What you do on the left, you have to do on the right. So then the 2 minus 2 would cancel. We have our 2x. It would remain less than or equal to 0 minus 2 is negative 2. X isn't alone yet. He's being multiplied by 2. So the opposite of multiplying by 2 would be to divide by 2. We divided by a positive 2, so we're not flipping. 2 over 2 cancels. X is less than or equal to negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. X is alone. We are done. So over here, x is on the right-hand side, no big deal. Just start solving. To get rid of a minus 5, you would add 5. What you do on the right, you have to do on the left of the inequality. You can draw that line also if you want to. Negative 5 plus 5 cancels. Clean it up. Negative 135 plus 5 is negative 130. We are still greater than negative 10x. So now x is not alone because it's being multiplied by negative 10. The opposite of multiplying by negative 10 is to divide by negative 10. Again, I just said divide by a negative, so that bell went off in my head, so I'm going to flip my inequality. Negative 10s cancel. I have x, and negative 130 divided by negative 10 is 13. Now, since I'm just solving, I could leave that x alone on the right. That is absolutely no big deal. But remember, if I was going to graph it, then I would just reverse it and do x is greater than 13 also. Because remember, if you're going to graph, you always want to get your x on the left. And if 13 is less than x, then x is more than 13. But when you're solving, if you're not going to graph, you don't have to take the risk of missing it and moving that around. All right, next one. We would start by simplifying the right-hand side. We're going to have to distribute that 7. So we have 329 is less than 7 times 7n is 49n. 7 times 5 is 35. So now, two-stepper, to get rid of a plus 35, we would subtract 35 on both sides. Cancel. So 329 minus 35 is 294. Less than 49n. N's being multiplied by 49, so the opposite of multiplying by 49 would be to divide by 49. So we divide both sides by 49. 49 is positive, so we're not going to flip. 294 divided by 49 is 6, is less than n. And then again, if you were going to graph it, or if you had to flip it to put it in Math Excel, if 6 is less than n, then that means n is greater than 6. There's your two possible answers. Number 4, you'd have to start by simplifying the right-hand side, so you're going to have to distribute the 5. So you have negative 120 less than 5 times 4x is 20x. 5 times 4 is positive 20. Nothing else to simplify, so we start moving. So to move a positive 20, we would subtract 20 on both sides of the inequality. 20 minus 20 is gone, so negative 120 minus 20 is negative 140, is less than 20x. So to get x alone, I'm going to divide by 20. I'm dividing by 20, and 20 is positive, so I'm not going to flip. Negative 140 divided by 20 would be negative 7. Less than 20 over 20 cancels out, so we have x. So again, if you were going to graph it, or if you needed to put it in Math Excel, if negative 7 is less than x, then x is also greater than negative 7. All right, let's look at the next 4. So number 5, same thing. I'm going to start off by distributing. So I have 88 less than or equal to negative 4 times negative 3r is positive 12r. Not sure why I wrote the positive in front of there. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. So now to move a negative 8, I'm going to add 8 on both sides of the inequality. 88 plus 8 gives me 96. Less than or equal to 12r. 8 canceled out. So now to get r alone, to get rid of a multiply by 12, I'm going to divide by 12. 12 is positive, so I don't flip-flop. 96 divided by 12 is 8. Is less than or equal to 12 over 12 cancels, so we have our r. Again, if you need to rewrite it, if 8 is less than or equal to r, then r is greater than or equal to 8. All right, next one, we're throwing in that variable on both sides topic. So first, we'd still distribute the right. So we have negative 2b minus 18 is less than, we would distribute, negative 6 times 4b is negative 24b. And then negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. So you see what we have is we've got b's on both sides. So we're going to get our b's on the left, our no b on the right. So this is the b side on the left. So to move that minus 18, we're going to add 18. On the right, we would add that 18 to the negative 18 because those are like terms. They're constants. They don't have letters. Hey, so nice. On this one, they actually both cancel out. So we have negative 2b is less than negative 24b. So now on the left, we just have b's, but on the right, on the no b side, we have a negative 24b. So I'd have to add that 24b to the other side. So negative 2b plus 24b is 22b. We're less than, currently we have absolutely nothing on the right, so 0. So then when I go ahead and divide the 0 by 22, 0 divided by 22 is 0. So I get b is less than 0. All right, 2 more to go. Number 7, I would distribute the negative 8. So negative 8 times 8x is negative 64x. Negative 8 times 2 is negative 16. Greater than 40 minus 8x. So again, I notice I have variables on both sides. So I'm going to work to get my x on the left and my no x on the right. So on the left, you have to have an x. Negative 16 does not, so I'm going to add 16. On the right, I would add 16 to 40 because those are like terms. They are both constants. They don't have the x. So we've got negative 64x greater than 40 plus 16 is 56 minus 8x. So then I'm, whoa, big X. So then I'm looking on the no x side. I got to move the minus 8x. So to move a minus 8x, I would add 8x. If I add 8x on the right, I have to add 8x on the left. Cancel and clean. So negative 64x plus 8x is negative 56x. Greater than 56. So now to get rid of a multiply by a 56, because by negative 56, everyone's on the correct side. So it's time to get x alone. I would divide by negative 56. That bell just went off in my brain because I said divide by negative. So I'm switching this to x is less than. And 56 divided by negative 56 is negative 1. All right, one more to go. This is definitely the hardest one. It's got everything we've ever done before with equations and putting it in with inequalities. So we have to distribute. So we have 5a plus 4 times 1 is going to be 4. 4 times negative 6a is negative 24a. And we are less than 37 minus 8a. But what I noticed is that didn't simplify that left-hand side. I have some like terms over there that I can combine. So I can combine the 5a minus 24a. That would become negative 19a. And everything else is the same, right? I still have plus 4, and I'm still less than 37 minus 8a. So then on the left here, this is my a side. So sorry, 4, you don't belong. So to move a positive 4, I would subtract 4 on both sides. So now I'm at negative 19a still. The 4 moved over. So less than 37 minus 4 is 33. And then I still have minus 8a. So then I notice minus 8a is on the wrong side. We got to move him over to the a side by adding 8a. So I'm going to add 8a to both sides. So negative 19a and 8a is negative 11a. Less than, on the right, we have 33. So now to get a alone, to get rid of a multiply by negative 11, we're going to divide by negative 11. Again, that bell just went off in my brain, right? Multiplying or dividing by negative. So I got to flip it. So a is greater than 33 divided by negative 11 would be negative 3. And that is lesson chapter 3, inequalities, day 2, solving multi-step inequalities.